Okay, so I just heard that message. So, not being able to see what's going on, I'm just going to welcome everyone to our weekly Tuesday morning community update. Good morning, this is Commissioner Dave Yamamoto. Today is Tuesday, December 13, 2022, and we will call this meeting to order at 8 a.m. So before we get started, as always, I'd like to remind everyone to please mute your phones. You can do this by pressing star 6. Please unmute yourself when called to speak. Again, pressing star 6. It is very important for all others to remain muted. Thank you. So again, I want to welcome everyone to the Board of Commissioners Tuesday morning community update. And not having Teams operational, I can't see who is online. So let's welcome first the Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Bell, are you with us?
Good morning, I am.
Good morning. And Commissioner Scar?
Good morning, I'm here as well.
Good morning. So I bet everyone else has their teams working, but not me. So let's move on directly to Adventist Health Tillamook, as we always start on Tuesday morning. Eric Swanson. Eric, are you with us?
I am. Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
So we have 14 patients in the hospital today. No one with a positive COVID test, so there's 0 COVIDs today. Nobody boarding in the emergency department, also good news. 13 surgery cases scheduled today, so it's a busy day down there. Yesterday, ambulance crews did 6 911 transports, 2 transfers, and no transports home. We're going back to the latest hospitalization for COVID, which is the latest information came from on the 7th. Number of hospitalized patients with COVID-19 across Oregon is 322, which is 7 less than yesterday. There are 30 COVID-19 patients in intensive care unit beds, 4 less than yesterday. No one on ventilators. 4.7% of all emergency department visits across Oregon were for COVID-like illnesses. 5,075 ED visits across Oregon yesterday. There are 23 available adult ICU beds out of 351 total. That's 7% for Region 1. And 73 available adult non-ICU beds out of 1,941. That's 4% availability. In terms of the number of patients boarding in Oregon hospitals, this is information that's updated as of yesterday. There were 242 patients boarding, which means they're in emergency departments waiting for a bed. 242 patients across Oregon, which is 27 less than the day before. And discharge delays, these are patients that are admitted to hospitals that should be discharged, but there's no place for them to go. There were 465 yesterday, and that's 13 less than the previous day. So that is all the information I have for you, unless you have questions for me today.
As always, Eric, thank you for being with us. Any questions for Eric Swanson? Eric, thank you so much as always.
You're welcome.
So let's move on to the Coastal Caucus. And again, I'm not sure who we might have online. Hopefully with us this morning, we've got Representative David Gomberg, as well as State Senator-elect Suzanne Weber, and maybe also, hopefully, Representative-elect Cyrus Javity, and maybe even Senator Anderson, and maybe even Senator Armitage. I don't know who of any of those that I just listed might be with us, but at this point, I will turn it over to the Coastal Caucus.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Suzanne.
Please go ahead, Suzanne.
Thank you, Rep. Gomberg. It's kind of chilly outside this morning. I was surprised because I thought with the fog last night that maybe it wouldn't be quite that cold in the morning. But it was a real brisk walk for me this morning with the dog. And on the way, I met a young man who is a truck driver who has hauled a load up from somewhere in Arizona. And he was quite impressed with our community. He's 26 years old, just started driving trucks, and he's finding out about the United States from the front seat and the driver's side. And he's very impressed with our community. It's really nice to be able to talk to him and tell him a little bit about our community. It's amazing how you go out and you find people, and you have good conversations, and you're once again able to tell people about the wonder of our area. I told him that Tillamook cheese was made here, and he couldn't believe that he was actually in the place where they made Tillamook cheese. And so it was really fun to interact with him that way. I've had a very busy week, and I got a cold in the process, but I learned a lot. And we started out last week. I was not here because I was with Commissioner Scar at the North Coast Housing Summit in Seaside, which was really affirming, because we up and down the coast have many of the same issues that we're dealing with. And we've got to work together up and down the coast to be able to solve some of these problems for the people who live here. I want to give a shout out to the Tillamook County Pioneer Museum for the wonderful Christmas tree event they had on Friday night, and for the Working Lands and Waters Cooperative for the get-together they had last week that brought, farmers and fishermen and loggers together with community members to be able to talk about issues in a very casual way that are affecting us all. And I also want to acknowledge the law enforcement officers in our area, in our county, in our cities, for the wonderful job they do. Thank you for keeping us safe and being ever vigilant. I was also present at the Pacific City Nestucca Valley Chamber banquet last Tuesday night, and I want to give my congratulations to Representative Gomberg for the plaque that he was presented with, because he won't be representing South County anymore, and the South County Chamber has really appreciated the fact that he has always been there for them. And so thank you, Rep. Gomberg, for helping to represent Tillamook County. And then I went on to Salem after that on Tuesday night and spent the next 3 days in meetings for committees, because it's the end of the year, the end of time sessions for some people who are leaving. And so it was extensive reports on all of the work that was done by the legislative committees in the interim. And I attended meetings on housing, education, health, and early childhood. And it was really a good opportunity to see all of the work that legislators do, not only in the time that they're in Salem, but in all of the other times that they're not, in dealing with constituent issues, and also the committees that they have taken on to be able to provide additional guidance for the state and information for the state on moving forward. I also spent a lot of time with lobbyists who are representing groups that may need extra help with legislative concepts. And that was, I think I had, 16 of those meetings. And that was also very interesting to see how people feel that we as a state should be moving forward. And as you may know, I don't have an office yet there. I don't have a committee assignment yet. But people are passionate about the things that they need to be able to thrive. And so they brought them forward so that they're on the forefront of the minds of legislators. Whether they pass or not, whether they get hearings or not, whether they get to committees or not, remains unseen at this time. But they are passionate about their efforts, and it was a good opportunity to be able to listen. And speaking of listening, last night, Representative Javity and myself were guests of the Astoria School District Board meeting, and we talked about education and legislation, and had a wonderful presentation by the superintendent on the gains that they are making as a school district, and what they are going to need to be successful in the future. And so I won't be able to be here next week. I wanted to tell you that also. I'm going to go and visit my son, and so I'm looking forward to that. But I know this will be in good hands, and so thank you all for the opportunity to be able to present what I've been doing. Never hesitate to reach out to me if you have a concern, but please always remember to leave your contact information so that I can get back to you. And the other thing is I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, be safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Weber. Senator-elect Weber. Representative Gumber.
Well, good morning, Commissioners, and good morning, Tillamook County. And I certainly want to thank my good friends at the Pacific Nesteca Chamber of Commerce for surprising me with a plaque and some recognition last week. You know, I don't think in 10 years I have missed more than 3 or 4 of their monthly meetings, and it was very humbling to me to be recognized by a group of people who work every single day to make our communities better and stronger and more interesting, more successful. So I thank them also very, very much. I'm going to miss Tillamook County. I'm going to miss Tillamook County very much. Commissioners, I wanted to tell you that yesterday I took a trip up to Portland. I try to avoid that as often as I can. You know, Senator-elect Weber and I are probably invited to go to Portland 2 or 3 times a week, and most of the time we stay closer to home. But I went up yesterday for the annual Leadership Summit of the Oregon Business and Industries. I say annual, but they haven't been able to do it the last 3 years, so it was good to be back in the room with all those movers and shakers and hear presentations from our 2 U.S. senators, the new leadership of the House and Senate, and also presentation from Governor-elect Kotek. I might mention that our own Senator Anderson was on the stage for one panel talking about housing, and it was good to see him up there in coastal interests being presented to a room full of people from around the state, and with a high concentration of folks from the Portland area. As you heard from Suzanne, that we were in Salem last week for Legislative Days, an important opportunity to talk about what's coming up in the next legislative session. I presented a set of proposals to the House Committee on Economic Development and Small Business, and this was a package of bills intended to facilitate economic development in rural communities around Oregon. And I'm very proud to say that it was a package that was put together by a bipartisan group of legislators. 2 Democrats, myself and Pam Marsh from Ashland, and 2 Republicans, Representative Owens and Representative Smith from the eastern part of the state. We have worked well together in the past. We're working well together now. At the invitation of the Speaker, I was asked to convene this group and come up with some ideas on what we can do in rural communities. And those ideas include concepts like getting more Oregon seafood into Oregon restaurants. It includes helping small farmers who can't find inspectors to process cattle into beef. It includes outdoor recreation in our rural industries that produce everything from paddle boards to parachutes. We are working very intensely on creating an inventory of industrial buildable lands, and also on rural housing, which we know is so critically important to our communities and also to our local economy. And finally, a package that's intended to support our small business development centers and the wonderful work that they are doing around the state.
Thanks,
so $100 million, and I'm optimistic as we go into the session that many, if not all of these bills are going to move forward. I'm already getting signals from leadership that they're pleased to see the package and looking forward to hearing more. So that's on the upcoming agenda for when we gather in early January to begin the 6-month-long legislative session. Commissioners, I won't keep you long today, but I wanted to mention something that's a little bit outside of Tillamook County, because on Saturday I'm going to be going down to Newport at the end of Highway 20 Now, Highway 20 is in fact the longest continuous highway in the entire United States, stretching from Boston to Newport. And we will be gathering there to greet a group of Marine veterans that have hiked the entire length of Highway 20 to draw attention to the concerns of our veterans and our military retirees and their families. So we're going to be gathering there, hoping to greet them with a warm welcome to the West Coast. But an arduous task for a good cause, and happy to be there. So I'll end my report at that point. I'll remind people that it's cold and crisp out there. You need to drive very, very carefully because the same frost you're scraping off your windshield is on the sides of the roads, and you want to make sure that whether you're stepping off your deck or driving down the road that you're doing so carefully. This is not the time of year that you want to have an accident. And I hope that some of our other leadership, our legislators or our legislator-elects are with us this morning, and I'll cede my time to any of them that may be with us.
Thank you, Representative Gomberg. Do we have any other of our Coastal Caucus members with us?
Representative.
I'm sorry?
Hello, this is Representative-elect Javity.
Oh, Representative Scott Javity, how are you this morning?
Good. I don't want to take up a ton of time. I'm doing well, but both Representative Gomberg and Senator-elect Weber asked me to start joining this meeting, so I hope that's okay. And so
Absolutely.
I'm here, and thank you for organizing this. I've been drinking out of a fire hose. I think that term's probably been said by more new legislators over the last month than anything else. We are meeting with lots of groups. This week I've met with the Oregon Food Bank. I talked with the outdoor school folks who are both groups are looking for more funding to continue those great programs. Also, want to echo what Senator Weber talked about with the thanks and appreciation to all the local law enforcement as well as community, city, and county employees who are working hard to keep our cities and roads and infrastructure in good shape. Last night, Senator-elect Weber talked about, we did go to Astoria, had a great meeting with the school district. I can tell you that their concerns are the same things we're struggling with down here in Tillamook. We spent a lot of time talking about just the lack of housing and how that's affecting their ability to hire good quality teachers. And to that area, I know we have some of the same issues. There was some great discourse there and some ideas we're going to be taking back, but we've got some shared concerns here on the coast. We're committed, Suzanne and I, I'm sure Representative Gomberg as well, and others to draw attention to that and beat that drum as much as possible in Salem, so we can get what we need out here. I also went to that conference yesterday with Representative Gomberg, and it was great to hear from those groups. The Tillamook County Creamery Association was present with one of their key speakers. We got a great update about what they've been up to and what's on their radar. Manufacturing is obviously a vital part of our community as well as farming, and so there's a lot of political interest and business interest in continuing to see that succeed. I do not know what committees I'm going to be on yet. We're hoping next week, or 2 weeks, so we will know by the end of December. I did meet with the speaker and shared with him some of my interests, which would be energy, agriculture, healthcare, obviously, transportation, tourism infrastructure, and so we'll see what those assignments end up being, but looking forward to finding out and then being able to focus in on how I can best serve the constituents here. And then just as a last point, I just want to make sure people are able to reach me, that will be I'm available to people who want to reach out directly to have an issue with the state, and have an open door policy. So I will try to get that contact information to the commissioners as well as other community civic leaders, and then try to make that available to the public as well, so we can be responsive and make sure that people realize and know that, trust that their representatives are listening and doing what they can for them. So again, thank you for inviting me to the meeting, or letting me intrude today, and looking forward to future meetings.
Representative-elect Javity, no intrusion at all. We welcome you. Thank you for being here. Congratulations, first of all. And we hope to see you every Tuesday morning on our call. That's great that you're joining us. Thank you so much.
So thank you. Appreciate that.
Do we have any other members of our Coastal Caucus with us? Hearing none, do we have any questions for any of our Coastal Caucus members? Thank you, all three of you, for being with us this morning. We do appreciate it so much. So let's move on to the Tillamook County Community Health Center. Do we have Marlene Putman and or Ed Colson with us?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners, and good morning, Tillamook County. This is Ed Colson with the Health Department and our update here.
Right.
As of December 6th, community transmission of COVID-19 remains high due to a test positivity rate of over 10%. The county has had 23 new cases of COVID-19 and a test positivity rate of 22.54% measured over the past week for Tillamook County. However, community level of disease impact is low. We have 6.5 new COVID-19 cases admitted to the hospital and 2.4% per 100,000 staffed inpatient beds occupied by a confirmed COVID-19 patient. Now, given the increase in COVID-19 cases that we have had locally over the past 2 weeks, and the surge of other respiratory viruses such as the flu and RSV that have put several Oregon hospitals into crisis mode due to the lack of beds for pediatric patients and adult patients, hospitals are being pushed past their current ICU bed capacity, which never happened during the heaviest days of the COVID-19 pandemic in Oregon here. So in fact, during a monthly COVID-19 briefing on December 8th, Dr. Dean Seidlinger, the health officer and state epidemiologist at Oregon Health Authority, called the situation facing Oregon's hospitals extremely serious. According to Dr. Seidlinger, Oregon saw an almost five-fold increase in RSV-associated hospitalizations in Oregon's children between October 23rd and November 13th. Now, although RSV-associated hospitalizations peaked during the week ending of the November 19th, rates of hospitalizations remain higher than during any previously recorded peak. Flu cases doubled each week for 5 consecutive weeks, with test percent positivity jumping from 1 to 30% between October 18th and November 28th. So that's led to a rapid rise in influenza hospitalizations since late October, particularly among people 65 and older, whose hospitalization rate has seen a 10-fold increase. So for these reasons, Tillamook County Public Health Officer Dr. Melissa Paulison, along with several other healthcare providers, do urge the use of masks when in crowded indoor places, such as in the grocery store, and to stay up to date with vaccinations. As the holidays continue to approach, consider changing or postponing gatherings if your family, which includes young children, older adults, or individuals with underlying conditions, start to feel ill with flu-like symptoms. If you do start to feel ill, please stay home and contact your healthcare provider to see what potential testing options may be. Now, if you do test positive for COVID-19, please follow the 5-day isolation period and 5 days of mask wearing afterward, and then continue frequent hand washing and disinfecting of high-touch surfaces. Now, it's not too late to get your flu shot or your COVID-19 booster to protect yourself from getting very sick. These vaccines remain available by appointment at our healthcare facilities and pharmacies throughout the county, including at our main health center location. Now, if you need resources or support with isolation or finding a vaccine, you can give us a call at the health department. It's 503-842-3940, or you can call 211. Now, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has authorized, and the CDC has recommended, an updated bivalent Moderna and Pfizer COVID-19 boosters for children as young as 6 months old. The updated boosters that target the Omicron BA4 and BA5 subvariants, in addition to the original strain, will be available to young children as shipments start to arrive in Oregon this week. The health department has placed an order. We are awaiting the arrival and more information to come when the doses are here. Children under 5 who completed a 3-dose Pfizer primary series are not eligible for a booster dose at this time. The FDA will evaluate data on updated Pfizer booster doses for this age group next month. If you need any more information, you can visit our website for more information there. So we'll go ahead and turn it back over to you, Commissioner.
As always, thank you, Ed, for being with us. Do we have any questions for Ed Colson? Ed, thank you so much for being here. Let's go to the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy. Do we have Gail Nelson with us?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Just a few announcements from the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy. We do have our boosters available, the Moderna bivalent COVID booster doses. Happy to schedule vaccinations for those who need them. And we're also, another announcement about our Kids COVID Booster and Crafts event. That will be Tuesday, December 20th. We'll have some art supplies and crafts set up for anyone, including adults who are accompanying their kids, for boosters that day. More details can be found on our website, reinhardtclinic.org. Outreach team, today's the day for open enrollment at the Tillamook Library to help people sign up for health insurance. This event will be from 2:15 to 5:15 p.m. Our assisters will be available to help people sign up for health insurance through Oregon Health Plan or the Marketplace. And again, I want to remind everyone our name change will soon be officially official. Starting January, we will start formally using in a wider range of activities the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy. It has been a long process, and we're thankful for everyone's patience as we work through this process. And finally, again, we're here to serve you. If you're interested in scheduling an appointment with one of our providers or have questions, flu, COVID, RSV, we also have behavioral health providers. Please do give us a call, 800-368-5182. Thank you.
Gail, thanks for being here. Any questions for Gail Nelson? Thank you so much. Let's go to the Tillamook Family Counseling Center. Frank Hanna Williams. Frank.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Frank Hanna Williams, Director, Tillamook Family Counseling Center. Behavioral Health Services for Tillamook County residents. Information regarding our services, information regarding appointments, or any of our programs. You can reach us at 503-842-8201 or 1-800-962-2851. That is the information I want to share this morning, and I will take any questions that anyone may have about us.
As always, thank you, Frank, for being here. Any questions for Frank Hanna Williams? Thank you, Frank. Let's go to the Sheriff's Office. Do we have Sheriff Brown with us this morning?
Commissioner Almano, this is Under Sheriff Matt Kelly. I'm standing in for the Sheriff this morning.
Under Sheriff Kelly, good morning.
Sheriff is apologizing. He had an appointment that he couldn't get out of. The Sheriff's Office has been really, really busy the last couple weeks. Most people are aware of the homicide we had on December 2nd, and I don't have a whole lot more to add to that. That if you want any updates, refer to our social media or our press releases. I did want to acknowledge that and recognize the deputies and the detectives that worked that case and are working that case. Most people don't realize how much work goes into those. Detectives are up for days on end sometimes. During this investigation, we had to send detectives to Nevada to do some follow-up and seize evidence and whatnot. But I just wanted to say my thanks to them and all the hard work they put into that, and will be put into. Most of these cases go on for months, if not years, doing follow-up and investigations. Only other thing to add, the Sheriff's Office will be taking part in a DUI enforcement saturation from December 15th through January 1st. This is a statistically, it shows that more DUIs occur during this time at the holiday season. People are celebrating, and we wish everybody to have a happy holidays, but just do it responsibly. So you may see more deputies out doing traffic enforcement for the next couple weeks. That's all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Under Sheriff Kelly. Any questions for Under Sheriff Matt Kelly? Thank you for being with us. Let's go to emergency management. Randy Thorpe. Randy, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
So far this week, I have really nothing new to announce or to talk about. It looks like the good news is we will have some good sunshine this week. Bad news is it's going to be cold. But again, back to good news, no rain in sight, so that will definitely put me at ease, at least for this week, to have sunshine instead of the rain. And so, but as it's been mentioned, just be careful while you're out there. It is extremely cold in the mornings, icy out there. We're also looking at that patchy fog in the morning. So stay warm, stay dry, and enjoy the sunshine this week. So we'll probably get back into rain next week. And that's all I have for today.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate your time very much. Any questions for Randy Thorpe, Emergency Management? Well, let's move on to the Board of Commissioners. Let's start with Commissioner Bell.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
Well, I would like to talk about a couple things. One is that I had the opportunity to go on a tour with Chris Laity, who's the Director of Public Works, to look at the construction of the Cape Mears Loop Road last week. My fellow commissioners were invited, but they couldn't come because they both had other meetings, which is sad for you because it was really cool. It's so interesting. I am fascinated by engineering and construction, and it was really cool to be able to see that work in progress. So probably most folks who are listening know this, but maybe not everyone does. The Cape Mears Loop Road has been closed for a number of years, at least 10, maybe more, because of the active landslide. It was repaired at one point, and then it slid again, and so then it was permanently closed because that hillside can't be stabilized. So it's very important to the county to get that rebuilt, an alternate road rebuilt, because it provides egress for the communities of Oceanside and Cape Mears. It's the connecting road between Oceanside and Cape Mears, currently closed. So if, for example, Highway 131 is closed due to down trees, etc., they don't have an egress route to get out of that community. And so it's very important to us that people not be trapped wherever they are in case of emergency. So the new road was designed, engineered, and is in the process of being built. And we've been talking about this for years. I have been as the liaison to Public Works, but way before my time, way before I was commissioner. Other commissioners have been talking about this, because this kind of thing takes a long, long time. And it's a federal project because it goes over federal land. There were private land acquisitions that had to happen with timber companies. And so all of that stuff is done, and the actual construction is happening now. And it was just fascinating. It's fascinating to see a big road being built right through the middle of a forest. And there was I think Senator-elect Weber talked about a holiday gathering she attended with Tillamook Working Lands and Waters. And I wasn't able to go because I'm a college board member and our board meeting was the same night. But I understand, I've heard from a couple of people who were at that event that they saw pictures of the road construction. And Senator-elect Weber said to me, it looks like they're building with styrofoam blocks. So I called Chris Laity and I said, tell me more about the construction project, what's going on up there? And he said, I'll show you. So we went up there, and they're a big crew up there, construction crew, and lots of heavy equipment, machinery, and the styrofoam block part was fascinating. And they're not actually styrofoam blocks, but they're called what are called geofoam blocks, and they're used for road building. I had no idea. I'd never heard about this, let alone seen it. They're huge blocks. They were 4 by 4 by 8 blocks of varying density, and they use them to fill in spaces that are big, that need to be filled, and then they encase them in concrete. And how long will these last? And they talked about other places where these have been used. They were used in 1950, and they're still effective. So it was totally interesting to me. There's a deep wash where they had to put in a big new culvert in the bottom because there's a creek, and then build up 4 stories. So that it's 40 feet of these geofoam blocks to span this wash in order for the road to go across it. It's so interesting. So, the courthouse is 3 stories high. So another story on top of the courthouse. These are the geofoam blocks in this space. It was fascinating. So Chris took me up there. I got to meet the job foreman and see what was happening there, and it was very interesting. And then we went around to the other side also, to the Cape Mears side, and looked at, because the work is happening for both sides, and then it'll meet in the middle. So it was very encouraging, super interesting. I'm really grateful to Chris Laity for giving me the tour, and encouraging for our community that the project should be done by this time next year, maybe a little sooner. It should be done by November 2023. And so I know folks in the community who live in Cape Mears and Oceanside will be very relieved when that route is available to them. So I'm thrilled to talk about that. I want to thank the Tillamook County Pioneer Museum for hosting our employee holiday gathering. We walked across the street from the courthouse and went over to the Pioneer Museum, and we had a delightful holiday gathering, and I'm really grateful to the museum for hosting us and letting us use their space. And I also attended the Festival of Trees event, which was lovely. It was so nice. That's one of the first events I went to when I moved to Tillamook County, and I have tried to go every year since because it's just so beautiful. So I'm really grateful for that. And the final thing is I want to talk a little bit about Christmas, because I love Christmas. I know not everybody does, but I love Christmas for lots of reasons. But one of them is that it seems like a time of year when most people are thinking more about the needs of others. It's whether or not you're religious. I think the spirit of Christmas is about thinking about other people, and I love that about Christmas. And so it seems like people are a little more kind. They're a little more friendly. They're more likely to reach out and do something for someone else. So I want to encourage people to make donations to the food bank, because there are hungry people in our community who are counting on the food bank to have a Christmas dinner, literally. And there are folks in our community who won't have a Christmas dinner if they don't get some help. So I strongly encourage people to make donations to the food bank. And also this year, I made donations to Tides of Change because I'm on their board newly. And Tides of Change has a wonderful gifting program for people who receive their services. They collect gifts for children 0 through 18, both genders, and all genders, boys and girls. And then they invite folks who have received their services to come 1 or 2 at a time, so they can have a private experience and come and shop and pick out the things that they need for their children, that they think their children will want and could use. And so it's just a beautiful program. So that's where I donated gifts this year, and that opportunity is still available through Friday. So you could get on the Tides of Change website. You could just Google Tides of Change Tillamook and look there. You could call them and ask, and also if you could just buy things if you want to. They did have a registry on Amazon, but I don't know, because it closes on Friday, I don't know if there's enough time to use that registry. But they're looking for new things, new toys for children 0 to 18. The things for younger kids are probably easier to guess about, but they provided a list of things for teens who can be harder to buy for, like earphones, makeup, nail polish, perfume. Gift cards are always welcome and appreciated. Any kind of teen items, board games, books. I think books are wonderful gifts. So if you have the inclination to give gifts to local children, you can still do that through Tides of Change through Friday. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. Let's go to Commissioner Scar.
Thank you. Good morning. Well, I feel like Senator-elect Weber and I have been walking in the same circles for the last week, for sure. I was also able to enjoy the Tillamook Working Lands and Waters holiday party, which is always a great opportunity to connect with a variety of folks from our natural resource industries. So that was a great time. Had some good conversations with folks there. And then I went to the Housing Summit on Tuesday, obviously, as the convener for that Housing Summit, and I won't say a ton, although I could talk for hours. It was an amazing event. We had about 200 people attend, and they got to hear presentations from the state of Oregon, what steps they are taking toward housing production. They got to hear from a variety of government panels that talked about, like we talked about, the Housing Commission of Tillamook County as one structure that's being useful. In Clatsop County, it was actually a representative from the city of Cannon Beach that's convening a regional task force to talk about how that was helping. So just really looking at different ways that counties and cities and communities can organize to take steps toward housing production. And then we spent the afternoon hearing very inspiring stories from developers who have figured out how to develop housing on the coast. And we're learning from each other. So I'm very excited to sit with our Representative-elect Javadi and make sure he's all up to speed on what's happening in Tillamook County as he heads for the legislature this next year to be an advocate for us. And I was very, very happy that Senator-elect Weber was actually able to join us for I believe the entire day, at least the majority of the day. Just a great opportunity, again, for those who will be working on our behalf in Salem to know what we're already doing and what we need the most. So, great event. Everyone had positive feedback, positive comments. We did a word cloud, and the two words that came back the most frequently were educational and inspirational. So, for my book, that makes it an absolutely successful day, and I'm sure that lots of great things will come from what everyone learned in that. So that was exciting. I will move on quickly. We're going to talk about ADUs, accessory dwelling units. We are hearing, as commissioners, often that people do not know what's coming forward in a public hearing until the public hearing itself. So this one has been working its way through the county in a variety of different groups. The accessory dwelling unit would become part of our planning code, and it is the opportunity to put a second living structure on a home in the unincorporated portions of Tillamook County, including our unincorporated communities. So this is something that's been talked about in the past. It is something that at our housing summit that was held in 2019, I believe, was one of the top 3 strategies that group of more than 80 people recommended that we pursue. So we have been working diligently on this, talking with community advisory groups in our unincorporated communities. The Housing Commission had our Development Code Committee that worked on this. So it's been working its way through the community very diligently. Most recently, the Planning Commission held a hearing on this on December the 8th. The Planning Commission had no concerns. The community members that attended the Planning Commission had no concerns, and it is being moved forward to the county commissioners for a hearing on January 30th. I'm not going to read you the entire document, but I do want to address, I put it on Facebook, and I want to address what an accessory dwelling unit is and how it can be used, because I immediately had someone who said, we don't need homeless people here, we don't need those. And I want to be clear that an accessory dwelling unit is a subordinate dwelling unit which provides complete independent living for one or more persons, including permanent provisions for living, sleeping, cooking, eating, and sanitation on the same lot or parcel as the primary dwelling, and which is incidental to the main use of the property. In no case shall the ADU exceed the area, extent, or purpose of the primary dwelling. So it is what would most commonly be thought of in most people's mind as a mother-in-law unit. It is not specific in any way to those experiencing homelessness. It is a second home on a parcel or a lot that would be allowed. So I want to be clear as people listen to the ADU conversation, what we're talking about. The other piece that came up that people are very concerned about is, could these become just a whole army of short-term rentals? And in our current ADU ordinance, the answer is no. They cannot be used for short-term rentals, for transient lodging at this time. So I encourage people to take a look at this. It is listed on the Planning Commission's website where it was on the agenda, which is the Community Development Department. It will also be attached to the information on the Commissioner's calendar as soon as that January 30th hearing appears on our calendar, which should be early next month. So if you have concerns, this is the time to start learning about it, read up on it, reach out and ask questions to your Planning Commission members who have already heard this ordinance, reach out to your community advisory councils in your unincorporated communities. They have already seen and talked about this work. Learn about it so that when you, if you decide that you have some concerns to bring to the January 30th hearing, that it won't be your first time hearing it or your first opportunity to talk about it with others who have already been chewing on it. That said, we invite all comments at public hearings, so please know that that is coming up as well, to just come and tell us what you think there. So didn't want to miss that. I know, again, if you heard this and you think, well, that's interesting, learn more, talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends. Let's make sure our community knows what's coming. Okay, the two quick things, well, one will be quick. The Short-Term Rental Advisory Committee is meeting today from 9:30 to 11:30. That we are moving our meetings from the library where they have been out to the Port of Tillamook Bay boardroom, and we're doing that due to a lack of space. We have a very robust and engaged group of the public who come to these meetings to listen and provide public comment, and we've simply outgrown the location at the library. So 9:30 this morning, Port of Tillamook Bay. You can also attend remotely if you want to do that. The login is on the home page of the Department of Community Development website. So check that out if you would like to join us this morning. We will be beginning to work through what are the tools that are available for us to put into use to really provide the best ordinance possible. And our attorney gave us a great presentation last month about the difference between land use and business licenses and different tools that we can use. And we will be reviewing those today and beginning to break down which ones we will not use, which will guide us to what we will. So it should be a really good meeting today. The last thing I want to talk about is an upcoming event that some of you may have seen advertised on Facebook, and that is the Longest Night Houseless Person Memorial Event, December 21st of this year, which is being put on by CARE. This is a new event. It's one CARE has not had before, but it looks like an amazing opportunity for all of us to really take some time to reflect and participate. So on December 21st, which is the winter solstice, it marks the first day of winter, the shortest day of the year, and the day we spend more hours in darkness than in the light. On this day, CARE has chosen to remember those who have succumbed to the harshness of living a life unsheltered. The CARE team invites our community to join us for the first annual Longest Night event to remember our people living houseless that we have lost. The event will start with a candlelight vigil at 4:30, and that candlelight vigil will be held, my computer doesn't want to scroll, there we go, at the green space located between First and Main, I think where the gas station used to be. That's where the vigil will be. There will be an opportunity for people to share names and remember those who have succumbed to a life of homelessness and have passed. There will be an opportunity to wave your sign and let folks driving by know what's happening, and they're saying to Panhandle, which is this opportunity to take donations to help those who are experiencing homelessness. There will be a walk to set up the to the warming center that night, and then a walk back to continue to wave signs through the night. So it is a great opportunity. If you're looking for more information, please reach out to CARE You can also find it as I did on their webpage. So, with the homicide that's being investigated, those folks were some of our folks who are experiencing homelessness. And so there are many ways that people succumb during their, when they are experiencing homelessness, and violence is unfortunately a common one. So please take the time to come out and reflect with us as a community on what it's like for folks who are living without a home, and participate then in our solutions, which are coming forward through our coordinated homeless services of House Bill 4123. Okay, I will leave it there. Thank you.
So thank you, Commissioner Scar, and thank you, Commissioner Bell. Appreciate your input very much. I will be brief. Yesterday, we had a very important meeting. That was a Tillamook Lightwave meeting in conjunction with NOAANET, our new contractor, as well as Astound Broadband. I'm getting a lot of emails about, what's happening with broadband. We're making some promises out there, and we're not seeing anything done yet. Please understand that this type of infrastructure work, especially when you're looking for grants, absolutely does take some time. So it was great to get together with NOAANET, our contractor now, as to how we're going to plan moving forward. And so the first planning grant that we're going to be applying for is coming up starting probably right at the first of the year. And I'm attending, I'm attending an OBAC meeting, Oregon Broadband Advisory Council meeting on Thursday, and we're going to be discussing a lot of things about the Oregon Broadband Office, things of that nature, the rules and regs. They're starting to put together, and they're not complete yet. That's why the first real round of planning grants isn't going to occur till right after the first of the year. We feel pretty confident that we're going to do well in that first grant round. And from there, once we start to receive some dollars and put a plan in place, then you'll really start to see some movement. But again, everyone just needs to understand that anytime you're dealing with infrastructure, it does take time. This is not something that's going to occur overnight. We understand the needs and desires of the community when it comes to high-speed internet, and we're working in that direction. So that was, again, a great meeting with representatives from Astound Broadband and representatives from NOAANET, and they all, not all of them, but the vast majority of them came in from out of state, either from the state of Washington or the state of Idaho, to meet with us. So it was a great meeting. It was over 2.5 hours. But again, I think we made some real progress there. So everyone just needs to take a deep breath. And yes, we want to continue to hear your needs and desires when it comes to high-speed internet for Tillamook County. But please, we all must be patient in this. So with that, we're going to move on to the cities. Leila Ahmad from the city of Manzanita. Leila, are you with us?
I am. Good morning, Commissioner. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Just a few quick updates. I first just wanted to congratulate and express my appreciation to Commissioner Scar for what I thought was an excellent and well attended and organized housing summit. I had the great opportunity to attend and participate in that entire meeting and found a lot of the information extremely useful, being able to meet with some of our neighboring cities and counties. And just being a regionalist myself, really appreciated the opportunity to discuss our housing crisis as a region and how we can start to work together to address those issues. So I found a lot of value in that, and really hope that we continue to do that important work. Just wanted to send a shout out to our community, and especially my Public Works Department, for a wonderful tree lighting. It was the first time we've had one in several years, and we held it at Underhill Plaza, and we had well over 100 and some odd people attend that, including lots of kids and visiting with Santa. So it was a really wonderful community event, and really wonderful to see so many people there. Also, just wanted to mention that the city of Manzanita, we've only been open by appointment during COVID, and listening to the increases in COVID rates, we're going to remain generally closed to the public, but we will be reopening for limited hours, some counter service between 9 and noon, starting January 3rd, Monday through Thursday. So again, that will be 9 to noon, Monday through Thursday. And assuming things stay well and staff stay well, we plan to keep that schedule until such time that we have a city hall where people can actually come into our building. I did want to note that city offices will be closed December 23rd and 26th in observance of Christmas holiday, and again on the 30th and 2nd in observance of the New Year's holiday. Just wanted to make note that starting next week, we do expect some pretty significant king tides, so just making sure folks are beach safety and never turn your back to the ocean. And then finally, we are expecting folks to hopefully trickle in some more business licenses, but if you're a business and you're out there and you're listening, please turn in your business license before January 31st. And then finally, we did have a council meeting last week, but it was mostly just minor housekeeping, so nothing major to note there, but we will be welcoming a new mayor, Deb Sibbons, and a new city councilor, Brad Mayerly, to our city council next year, and looking forward to working with that new team. Thank you for the time.
Leila, thanks for being with us so much. Let's move on to the city of Nehalem. Do we have Melissa Thompson-Kiefer or anyone else from the city of Nehalem with us this morning? How about city of Wheeler? Mayor Doug Honeycutt or any others from the city of Wheeler? City of Rockaway Beach, Mayor Sue Wilson or anyone else from Rockaway? City of Garibaldi, Mayor Tim Hall, are you with us? City of Bay City, Mayor David McCall. David, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Commissioner. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, so good morning to you and to the community. Just like to announce that tonight the city will be having our regular monthly city council meeting beginning at 6 o'clock in City Hall. We have a very long packed agenda, but starting off with the second reading of our revised short-term rental ordinance. So if you are a short-term rental operator or interested in that, please check out the ordinance, the changes that are proposed. It's all on our website, and come, and you are welcome to participate and submit your comments during that meeting. And we have a host of other things going on, approving a couple contracts for grants we have received from various state agencies, OPRD and DEQ and whatnot. So please show your interest in your community, come out, check out what's going on, and once again, 6 o'clock at City Hall tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor McCall. City of Tillamook, Nathan George. Nathan.
Good morning, Commissioner. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Fantastic. Good morning. Yes, I do have several updates. Thank you very much. In the Public Works Department, our water crews are reading meters this week. Please be mindful of vehicles frequently stopping, the employees walking around collecting data. The Public Works Department's employees are continuing to deal and resolve pump issues at the wastewater treatment plant, along with screening equipment issues as well. The Public Works Department's employees are going to clean and unplug a storm line outfall near Goodspeed Park today to mitigate localized flooding on 3rd Street. Street crews are continuing to fill potholes on city-owned properties along 101 or Main Street North. The water crews will be finishing the water service meter install for a new apartment complex at 4th and Ocean. That's the complex now. It's been rebranded as Wilmond, I believe. I'll have to get that correct for next week. I apologize for that. I think it's the Wilmond Apartments now, which was formerly called the Nestucca Ocean Apartments. Contractors have been repairing a failed sewer lateral on 5th Street near Pacific Avenue that had the road closed for a while. We are sorry for the inconvenience in that area caused due to the detour. Public Works Department's employees are actively watching the weather this week as it's turning colder, and will apply de-icer as needed to ensure safe travels for our citizens. In the Police Department, Christmas is coming early for our 50-plus Tillamook County children this year. Law enforcement personnel from the Tillamook County Sheriff's Office, City of Tillamook Police Department, Manzanita Police Department, United States Coast Guard, the U.S. Forest Service, and Oregon State Police will be participating in the 18th annual Shop at the Cop event on Saturday, December 17th, It's from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. The Tillamook Fred Meyer generously provides breakfast snacks for the children, volunteers, and officers. A $150 gift card will be given to each child to purchase gifts for themselves and their families. Many of the officers dig into their own pockets to ensure the children are provided with something their heart is set on that exceeds the amount donated to them. These children were selected by a committee through referrals. This committee is comprised of the Tillamook School District, the Oregon Department of Human Services, the Child Welfare Division, representatives of the Tillamook County Sheriff's Office, our Tillamook Police Department, and Tides of Change staff. Shop with the Cop gives children an opportunity to see law enforcement officers in a different light, building those everlasting relationships. Many times just a look of joy on the children's faces means the world to the officers helping them. This program is sponsored entirely by donations. Financial contributions are collected year-round, and the Tillamook Police Department and the city would like to thank the Tillamook County community and the police for the money raised to make the event a success. It's winter time, so here are a few things you can do to remain safe on the icy and snowy roads. Most importantly, if conditions are too poor, avoid unnecessary travel, don't risk it. Drive at safe speeds and increase the safe stopping distance between vehicles. Make sure to keep 5 car lengths behind snow plows. Equip your vehicle with basic needs: scraper, small shovel, jumper cables, and a bag of sand for traction. Finally, move over for emergency responders assisting others on the shoulder of the road. Bundle up and buckle up and stay safe this winter. The city also appreciates the opportunity to attend the North Coast Housing Summit sponsored by Commissioner Scar. Our city planner, Tommy O'Donnell, attended this great event as a representative of the city of Tillamook. We really appreciate that. The city has a vacancy on the city's budget committee, and it has some vacancies for at-large members on the Tillamook Urban Renewal Agency's Planning and Justification Committee and Contract Committee. So not on the board itself, but on the 2 committees, we have some at-large positions available. If you're interested in serving on either of these committees or know someone interested in serving, please have them call the city or visit our website at tillamookor.gov. The city of Tillamook is holding their annual... Oops, I'm so sorry. Oh, wait, I'm so sorry, I'm skipping around here. The city of Tillamook is holding the annual Christmas tree lighting and tree decorating contest this year. The deadline for entries was yesterday, December 12th. The announcement for winners of this contest will be on December 19th at our next council meeting. The contest has 2 categories: residents and businesses located within city limits. There will be first place, second place, and third place prize winners for both categories, and the judging will occur on December 14th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. We hope to have even more entries next year. One of our prizes last year was to get a month free of your water bill. And finally, codification. The city code is now available online on our website in a searchable forum hosted by the city's codification company, American Legal, and that is on our website, tillamookor.gov. The codification process of city ordinances and resolutions is a process of putting all the laws adopted by the city council into one code book. This is like the state taking all adopted House bills and Senate bills and writing them into a code book, which the state calls the ORS, or Oregon Revised Statutes, which is hosted online. Same thing for the city. The city last codified laws a decade ago and did not keep them properly updated. The city code is now up to date as of November 2022, and from now on, the city will ensure that all adopted council laws are submitted to American Legal, which is the city's codification legal team, and are updated regularly on the city's website. This ensures not only transparency, but accessibility to the city's code. For your information, anyone may go online and set up a login to allow them to bookmark, search, and make annotations on their own personalized account. If anyone has questions on that, they can call the city, and we will be happy to help them. That's all I have, Commissioner. Thank you so much.
Well, Nathan, as always, thanks so much for being here. A very comprehensive report, as always. Last but certainly not least, South County, Doug Olson. Doug, are you there?
I am. Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Not too much to report today. There were some conversations earlier about the award banquet that we had, I guess, a week ago today. And I'll just clarify the one that went to Representative Gomberg. We called it the He Shows Up Award. Now, you may agree with him or disagree, depending on your politics, but the fact is the representative shows up. And I think we've all watched him over the past decade, actually, maybe longer, and he is all over the place on the Oregon coast. He can be in Toledo in the morning and Newport at later in the morning, and then up here for lunch in South County, and then back down to Lincoln City for something else. And so regardless of your politics, as I said, the man shows up, and that's what we recognized him for, was simply being there and being able to listen and hear our concerns, and oftentimes doing something about it. So that was the award there. We hadn't done anything quite like that before, but we thought of 10 years of coming to meetings and only missing probably fewer than half a dozen, he deserves some recognition. So that's what happened there. Other than that, I don't have too much to report. We're headed into kind of a slow season, but the chamber will be back up and running again first Tuesday in January, and with a very active agenda. We're going to look for a lot of new members and a lot of businesses. Just counting, excuse me, the other day there's over a dozen new businesses in South County. So we want to bring them all together and let people know what's going on. So our business community is alive and well and thriving.
Commissioner, if you're speaking, you are muted.
Sorry, I am so sorry. Yes, so thank you, Doug, as always, for being here. Time being 9:06 a.m., we are going to adjourn this community update. I want to thank everyone for attending, but special thanks to KTIL, as they do every Tuesday morning, for broadcasting this community update live across the county. So with that, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next Tuesday.